we'll go with the spontaneity.
All right.
So my name's Jeff. What's your name?
Jawan.
Jawan?
Yeah.
Jeff, yeah. So my question is, and this is, I go to a church nearby and I'm trying to show people that we can have civil conversations about religion.
Yeah.
So what do you think happens after we die? And how did you get to your belief about that? If you have one, or if you're not sure, or
Yeah.
just that a little bit. Yeah.
I used to think about it a lot. I used to have like a lot of different ideas. I used to think maybe there was a heaven, but I just didn't. When I was really young, my family's really religious, and then I think I just got out of that. I don't think there's like a place that you can go to after you die. I think you just after death, it's kind of just like it's like I don't know. I feel like a consciousness is more of like an energy instead of something that's just like within just like it's not like your brain is like a computer, as people would say. It's like it's like a sort of energy. So when it's over, when your body is done, your consciousness survives and it just goes into like
it's not necessarily attached to your body.
It's not necessarily, well, it's like it's attached to your body, but like when you die, it just like leaves and it just goes into like a pool of consciousness, which is like it's like they're like not really necessarily thoughts. It's just it's like nothingness, but it's something. It's like an energy.
Yeah.
You just become like more energy for the like a recyclable energy, I guess.
Okay.
That's
so you continue to exist. Would you have consciousness though? Like would you? So you said you don't think you have thoughts.
You wouldn't. Right? It would just be like a consciousness, a conscious energy with other conscious energies.
Yeah.
In a pool of nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And do you feel like you came from somewhere, or?
I feel like consciousness is like, it's just like just an energy. So I mean, I guess if it's forever flowing, then maybe it comes from the pool of consciousness, just like randomly.
So like it was all together, and then something separated it out to form you.
Yeah,
right?
it's like a wave. It's like a stream, I suppose. A stream. It's constantly, a stream of consciousness is constantly flowing everywhere at all times.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
So you said you had a religious background?
Yeah.
Christian?
Yeah.
Okay. Catholic or?
Baptist.
And at what point do you feel like you maybe went this direction? Because it's kind of like a different direction from Christianity.
I think when with my family, it was on Christmas actually. I remember the exact day. It was on Christmas, and I was like, "Where's Santa?" And my family was like, "Santa doesn't exist."
Oh yeah.
I was like, okay. And then I was like, before that I was talking about magic. So I like Harry Potter. I was like, oh, well, all this magic. And they're like, magic doesn't exist.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, it's kind of a killjoy. My family they don't really like anything.
Oh, okay.
So then it's like, well, if that doesn't exist and that doesn't exist, then how could there be a heavenly body like watching over this, and I'm not like figure watching, watching over us. If that doesn't exist, if these things don't exist, then it's like then I was like, okay, well, I guess nothing exists. But then I thought about it in more of a scientific, I guess, mind, and I just maybe it's just like all pooled like consciousness, because I just think it's like just an energy.
Yeah. And do you feel like, does that give you hope, or how does that affect your view on life? Like,
I don't know.
I feel like you have a purpose in life,
I feel like purposes in life, it's like life kind of just has, I feel like, no purpose really. Like you like there's no set thing that you have to do. There's just things that you want to do, that you feel like you need to do, but then you really don't have to do anything.
Yeah.
So I guess no, I feel
so it's more like you set your own purpose.
Yeah, you set your own purpose, and it's based on things that happen in your life, and the people who raise you, and the people you're around, your surroundings, and so that's why it's like, so, and that's why I also don't believe in the concept of like a good necessarily or bad. It's all based on experiences and how you're raised. Because how I was raised, it's like how what I'm thinking right now is really bad. When my family or my friends have none of them come from a religious background, and they would think like if I were to be like, oh, like talk about religious thing, they would be like, oh, that's kind of bad, it's kind of weird. And but it's like it's not bad or weird to really at all. It's just a thing that we're saying.
So when you say you're pretty bad according to your family, it'd be like Is it because you don't believe in religion?
Yeah.
And then I think what I heard you say is like if your friends, the ones you hang out with now, if you did talk about religion, they'd say it's bad.
Maybe in the past, not necessarily now. I feel like they'd be okay with it now. But like,
a little more
maybe in the past, like when I was a younger man.
Yeah.
And everyone was really into like just like being really like like angsty, like I don't believe in God, yada yada yada. And maybe if I was like, they'd be like, dude, that's weird, and like you need to like.
Yeah.
It's just like it's all, I don't know, it's all an opinion.
But now, when you say you're more into science, do you feel like God, if God existed, you would have to be able to prove He exists, or
I mean,
something like that? Like, would you expect to see, like, I don't know, evidence, or be able to run an experiment?
Yeah, I feel like. I mean, I suppose so. I feel like the concept of God and gods in general, they've been existing for so long. It's just like it's like for people to something for people to grasp onto for hope, and it's good that there is religion, because if suddenly like if suddenly somebody was like, all right, everybody, God doesn't exist, this is all fake, and then like people actually believed it, then I feel like there would be a deep depression in a lot of cultures.
Yeah.
And that's bad.
Yeah.
So it's like, so this is like this construct of religion is good, and it is and when as people are thinking about it, it makes it's real to them. So
yeah.
Who am I to go and say that's wrong and you're an idiot? You know? Like, I'm not. That's not me.
Like I told you, I go to a church. I'm a Christian.
Yeah.
It doesn't make me a Christian, but I'm a Christian who goes to church. When I think about all the other religions, I'm glad for them too, because they all teach morals and ethics, and people want to be good, and so like the whole purpose of religion is to kind of solve this problem of the fact that we kind of know right from wrong, like we have a conscience, and yet we don't keep it. And so different religions say different things about that, but at least they say we're accountable to someone, or we have some accountability. So I'm glad for that.
It's good, because if there was nothing and you kind of felt like, what's stopping me all the time, then it would be chaos.
Do you feel like now you said you don't believe in good or evil, but do you feel like you set your own ideas for good and evil? So
of course. Of course. Of course I set my own ideas.
So you believe in it, but you don't.
It's like I'm like, oh, that's really bad, really.
Right.
But if I'm like for instance, if I just saw somebody like just kill somebody right there, I'd be like, yo, that was really terrible.
Yeah.
That's just like, that's really terrible.
Yeah.
Like that's bad.
Yeah.
But like that's just my opinion of bad. Maybe that person killed that person because they killed somebody that they knew, or
there might be something more to the story.
There's always something, and it's just like you can never know the whole thing. So it's like, is that person bad?
Yeah.
Or are they just like fulfilling some sort of purpose?
Yeah. I actually think, I know like a lot of Christians are saying, well, we're moving towards relativistic thinking, which means what's good in one situation, or for one person, might, it all depends on the person, right? To me, it's more like every situation, like you say, there's so much wrapped up in every situation. So as a Christian, I do believe there's right and wrong, but it's just a lot more complicated than we might put it, Kind of like, I don't know if you've ever heard of C.S. Lewis.
No.
He's a really well-read Christian author, but anyway, he talked about like a note on the piano isn't necessarily good or bad, but when you place it in a song, it's like it's either like it's the one right note that should be there, or if it's not, if it's out of place, it, in that song, and so it's like, so to me, good and right and wrong, yes, I do believe in right and wrong, that I'm accountable to God to do right and wrong, but like you say, life is more complicated than that, and everyone's, comes into life with dealt a different hand, and so we have different parents that raise us, and different, so now do you like the idea, like if you could choose, like if God exists, that you have a creator that wants a relationship with you, but also wants to hold you responsible or accountable. Maybe I should put it like this, like from what you know of the Bible, do you like the idea of God or not?
Well, from like, from what I read, more so as a young man, I like reading it. It just seemed like a guiding book. A lot of it is just like don't do this, don't do that. But I didn't get too heavily. I didn't read it too heavily because all my friends did read it and they're like, this is why this is evil. This is stupid. This is idiotic. It's all really bad. And I have right now one of my closest friends. He's apostolic. It's something.
Oh yeah, I know.
It's something really. And they follow the Bible pretty much to a T.
Yeah.
And I've been
apostolic.
Apostolic. Yeah. And I've even with his family, I've talked to his family, and I think that is wrong. With like how they are like doing what they do. Like it's like he like, because I used to live in Las Vegas. He couldn't wear like short sleeve shirts. He could only wear long sleeve shirts until he got into a home, and he would have to ask if he could take his shirt off to reveal his short sleeve shirt. You can't reveal anything. His sister they could only wear skirts. They couldn't wear pants. They could only wear skirts.
Okay.
Like the long skirts. Yeah. And then sweaters.
Just really caught up in the outward appearance
and it's like well, I don't think that should be I don't think that should be the thing, like. But like it was really insane because he'd read the Bible through and through many times. Yeah. Like just like searching for his meaning. Yeah. And he stopped like a few years ago, and he was like, I can't do it anymore. He was going crazy. He was reading it so much to really find something in the book that was like fit him so well. But every time he would read it, he would just be like, well, I'm bad. These are reasons why I'm bad, and why we can never be good. Yeah. That's I think that's pretty terrible. If you keep reading a book that's supposed to guide you into a way of like, a way of like thinking that's like, oh, that's good, this is good. I'm doing well. I'm following this. But like if you continue to read it, you're pretty much hurting yourself. Yeah. Yeah, because you're trying to follow it so closely, and it's like you can't follow anything that closely.
Yeah. Yeah. I do read the Bible a lot. I don't get that. No. as far as like that, the strict keeping the rules like you were mentioning. Yeah. Not quite sure where he would get that,
Oh, that's their religion. That's the whole thing, which is really even like I'm not sure what the people think about the Old Testament. I don't really know, but even that they read and they're like, these are things. Yeah.
One thing about the Bible, like, so just to let you know where I've come from with it, it's like, do I believe it's the Word of God? Yes, I do. Right? Do I believe every word in it is what God wants to be there? Yes. But that's not to say that we need to follow every single word like that was written directly to me. For example, you were talking about the Old Testament. A lot of it was written to the ancient Israelites for their time in history. Yeah. And we can learn from it. Yeah. But that doesn't mean it's written directly to us. Yeah. I mean, it really is. People make fun of the different laws, like, not wearing clothes that are two materials. I don't know if you're familiar with that one. I know that one. And then shellfish. And, just different things. And it's like, that's what, from my understanding, that's what set them apart from the ungodly pagan nations around them. Yeah. They had these strict rules. There's like 600 rules. Yeah. And they don't apply to us now. Yeah. Now there's civil laws which set them apart as a nation. There's ceremonial laws which governed how they would worship God. And again, that was written just for the Jewish people because they had to make sacrifices and things like that. Yeah. And then there's moral laws, which I do believe apply to all of us, you know. And so to read the Bible just with this straightforward, literal sense that it's all written directly to me, well, then there's a lot of contradictions in there. Yeah. Yeah. It would be contradictory if we read it that way. Yeah. So I think there's a more mature way to read the Bible.
There is.
And I started reading it pretty young. Well, I started being exposed to it at a very young age, and then started reading for it myself when I was like 17.
Yeah.
And things that I read then and kind of understood one way, now I read them and I realize, oh, that's not what it meant at all, you know?
Yeah.
And so I like to encourage people like yourself. I don't know, like, the last time you, like, seriously read the Bible, how long ago would that be?
I feel like it was definitely, like, in middle school. I really tried to separate myself from it because my family is, like, so...
Yeah.
It's a lot. It's a lot. I just wanted to separate.
You'd have to do it in secret, so they
don't.
They don't think, okay, would you?
Yeah.
What I would just say, like, your mind as a middle schooler is going to be totally different. Your understanding of the Bible will be totally different than now.
Yeah.
And the other thing is the Bible is not just one book; it's many books.
Yeah.
And so to understand, you know, to like take a little time and learn the purpose of each of those books and the audience that they're written to. And, you know, you walk into a library, you don't just read all the books in alphabetical order. You gravitate towards what appeals to you, you know? And so there's certain books of the Bible that, you know, a person should read first, and then others start to make sense as you read those, you know? So I try to encourage people to do that. May I ask, what is your understanding of Christianity in general? Like, what's your impression of, like, if someone says the gospel, you know, which I guess would be a way of saying the heart of Christianity, you know, what do you think that basic message is?
I mean, it's just like, I did go to church. I never really paid attention. I pretty much was like,
you and me both.
I pretty much was over it by the time I could really understand what they were saying. I was just like pretty much ignore everything.
Yeah.
But it's just like the gospel. I don't know. Like maybe like just like the word of God. Like this, like these are like things like, I don't know. It's just like I don't. It's like I couldn't even really tell you because it's just like.
So, I come across this a lot, you know, especially, you know, a lot of people that grew up in church and they start to hear the message, and I went through this myself. You hear the message so many times that you start to think that it's, hello.
I'm Jawan, sorry.
I'm Jeff.
I'm Justin.
Good to meet you. We're having a recorded conversation here. You want to join us?
Sure, about what?
Well, I have to go. I have to go to work.
You gotta get going?
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to give you something to read then that kind of summarizes what I was about to tell you.
What? Oh, you don't have to.
Yeah, check that out.
Cool. Thank you.
So, and then the video I posted, I have a blog, and I usually write a few, you know, something about the conversation that kind of inspires me, you know, to write, because I like to write.
Yeah.
And then I'll post the video. There'll be a link there. So,
thank you.
So thank you. Appreciate your openness and willingness to talk.
No problem.
And so you're in a hurry?
A little bit, yeah. I'm just pretty hungry out there.
Yeah. Well, I'll give you the card too. You can check out what.
Good day.
All right. Have a good day. All right. Take care. Yeah, so it's on the back.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Yeah. Would love to talk.
Yeah,
more.
absolutely. Yeah. Sorry
All
I
right.
had to head out.
Yeah, no problem. Take care.
Good luck.
Thank you.